And today we have none other than Oblock Big P, Oblock Big P, Oblock Big P's arrest report, man. And if you have not done so already, hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button, as I will be dropping new Foia requests as they come in. This is the week we already received an update from the Foia, from the CPD Foia, regarding the FBG cash documents. They let us know that, hey, in summary, this is pretty much still under investigation. They couldn't release any documentation regarding the case at all, meaning it is still ongoing and they are still interviewing witnesses and so forth. And I will continue to bring you updates on other cases as well. So you gotta stay tuned, and the only way to do that is to hit the notification bell as well as subscribe and thumb up these videos. I appreciate everybody thus far, and we're gonna jump right into this. So this first document we have is a Chicago Police Department arrest report for a one Mitchell Pravion LaShawn. All right, and it is a male, black, 5'6", 172 pounds, brown eyes, black hair, short hairstyle, light brown complexion. The arrest date for this one was sometime in 2021. All right, and he was being held at the 018 District lockup, and his charges are listed as 4. First being UUW, weapon, public street, alley lands, Class A type misdemeanor. Driving never been issued a license, that is a Class B type M misdemeanor. Double park, no standing, and then an issuance of a warrant. So yeah, 4 charges for this one back in 2021. All right, the felony review was denied on August 26, 2021. All right, this is a parole/mandatory violation. So he violated parole and they issued a warrant for his arrest. The arrestee's vehicle was a Dodge Charger 2014. We have an incident narrative here. Event number 06650, body-worn camera. In summary, this arrest was made by the 018 District 1862 Tactical Team. Arriving officers were patrolling the above area in an unmarked car in full uniform. Arriving officers observed the above vehicle double parked and initiated a traffic stop. Upon approach, arriving officers observed no driver but a juvenile sitting in the rear passenger seat. Arriving officers smelled a heavy odor of burnt cannabis emitting from the vehicle and asked the juvenile out of the vehicle. Arriving officers inquired where the driver was, to which the juvenile related, not verbatim, "My uncle who's driving went inside the Dolce & Gabbana store." Arriving officers asked the juvenile if there were any guns or drugs in the vehicle. The juvenile stated no. Arriving officers conducted a narcotics search, which yielded a Davis Industries P380 .380 caliber semi-automatic pistol loaded with a round in the chamber located inside the center console. After recovering the firearm, the offender, now known as Mitchell Pravion, approached in an attempt to enter the driver's seat. Arriving officers detained the offender for preliminary investigation. Arriving officers asked the offender if he has a Foia or a CCL. The offender related that he didn't. Name check shows the offender did not have a valid driver's license and no Foia or CCL. Due to the juvenile relating the offender was driving and the offender's actions trying to approach the driver's seat, arriving officers reasonably believed the offender to be the driver. Arriving officers placed the offender in custody for UUW. I clear confirmed the offender to be a convicted felon, documented under document number listed. Subject is on parole. IDOC. Officer Jefferson notified IDOC warrant. Issue tracer. Offender is a documented black disciple and a registered gun offender. Miranda was read at 13:15 hours. Post Miranda, the offender related he drove to pick up his nephew to go shopping downtown. Offender further related, not verbatim, he drove and parked out front Dolce & Gabbana and put his hazard lights on before exiting the driver's seat. Name check clear, no warrants or warrants, no investigative alerts, ASA denied charges due to the offender and juvenile blaming other parties. All right, and it lists the courtroom and situations. All right, we have a second arrest report for one Pravion Mitchell. And we know the demographics. The incident location seems to be in a parking lot on King Drive. The charges 1 and 2, a UUW felony weapon possession, use of a firearm. This is a class 3 type felony. And a possession of cannabis greater than 10 to 30 grams, first, class B, misdemeanor. Felony review. This was approved on November 6, 2018 at 2100 hours for a felony. So they approved that. In the recovered narcotics, they suspected cannabis. Approximate weight and quantity was 15 grams. Estimated street value $150. That's interesting. They came up with that. Not sure where they get these numbers from. All right. Next one we have here is the vehicle that he was in. It was a 2010 Nissan Altima. All right. And we have an incident narrative. In summary, arriving officers while on patrol in the Parkway Gardens CHA homes, an area known to arriving officers for gun/gang violence, observed Pravion Mitchell, offender, standing by the open driver's side door of a black Nissan Altima. When the offender looked in arriving officer's direction, he turned away and began tugging an item on the right side of his pants. Arriving officers then exited the vehicle and observed Pravion Mitchell, the offender, with a dark semi-automatic handgun in his right hand. The offender then bent over and attempted to hide the gun under the driver's side seat. Arriving officers, believing the offender was unlawfully possessing a firearm, then approached and detained the offender. While detaining the offender, he told arriving officers that all he had was weed, street slang for cannabis, on him. Arriving officers asked if he had a Foia or a CCCL, to which the offender replied no. Arriving officers then recovered inventory number listed, one Springfield XD .45 caliber semi-automatic handgun loaded with 11 live rounds from the driver's side floorboard. The offender was then placed into custody. A custodial search of the offender revealed inventory number listed, 9 Ziploc plastic bags, each containing a crushed green leafy substance, suspect cannabis, from the offender's left jacket pocket. The offender was then transported to the 003rd District Station for further processing. The offender was read his rights by Police Officer Zawada at 1905 hours. In the presence of Police Officer Zawada and Police Officer Macias, the offender waived his rights and related that the gun was not his gun. He further related that the gun is everyone's for protection and that they are at war with the guys from 61st Street ever since Redacted made it. Weapon cleared, not registered per gun desk. Name check revealed that the offender is a convicted felon under case number listed for aggravated battery to a police officer, negative for a GIP and trap, and no investigative alerts, no probation or parole, no body-worn cameras. CHA video of the incident to be inventoried. All right, and that was for that case there. All right, we have another document for Pravion Mitchell, marks tattoo of money bags on neck. This one took place in the CHA hallway, stairwell, elevator. This is, he has 3 charges on this one. It's an aggravated battery to a peace officer, aggravated assault / use of a deadly weapon, and a criminal trespass to land. And this was approved for felony. I guess for the aggravated battery to the peace officer was approved on October 27, 2016. And no narcotics were recovered in that incident. Victim and complainant is a female, black, 30 years of age, and she was not injured, hospitalized, or deceased. Or neither did she go to the hospital, Treated and release was no. There's a second victim and complainant, a male, white, 1989 year, and he was not injured or deceased or hospitalized. And we have an incident narrative here. All right. Pravion Mitchell, offender arrested on signed complaints by redacted victim and complainant and redacted victim and complainant. Redacted victim and complainant signed complaints on Pravion Mitchell, offender, for verbally threatening to kill her, stating, F you and your baby. I'm killing you, B word. Wow. While holding his right hand inside of his pants, implying he had a gun. Redactor related to arriving officers that she saw an imprint of what appeared to be a handgun inside of offender's pants where his right hand was placed. Security supervisor for Protect Security, redacted, observed offender trespassing on the Parkway Gardens property. Redacted was punched in the right eye with a closed fist by Pravion Mitchell, offender, while attempting to hold the offender. Eye with a closed fist. Okay, offender had no valid ID, $0, and no other wants or warrants. Personal property, not redacted, but listed. Offender denies gang affiliation, but is listed as a black disciple from Oblock. I mean, it seems this is pretty consistent amongst these dudes, man. You know, threatening these girls out there. And the girls don't do anything but go and tell the police on them. I mean, I don't know what they would expect, you know. But here we have a third arrest, or maybe fourth, I'm not sure. For Oblock Big P, man, these dudes catch so many cases. And this arrest date was March 29th, 2016. 13:30 hours. These are career criminals, man. Just to, you know, criminal trespass to land. The victim is Parkway Garden Apartments. Now he's trespassing on Parkway, because they probably, if you listen to that DJ Vlad interview with Big Mike, he said that Parkway Gardens gave him trespassing charges and things of that nature. So, but yeah, so. And we have the complainant is an adult, which names are redacted, and the victim is listed as Parkway Garden Apartments. All right, which is the complex for the whole apartment. Which is probably the rental office for that complex. All right, Mitchell Pravion is arrested and signed complaints for criminal trespass to land. Mitchell Pravion was advised by Parkway Security not to trespass to land. After receiving a verbal notice from security, Mitchell Pravion returned and remained on Parkway property. Mitchell Pravion was placed into custody at the above location and transported to 003rd by Beat 313 for further processing. All right, offender is not on parole or probation and has an SSL number of 240. Offender is associated with the Black Disciples of Wick City / Oblock Street Gang. I mean, so the police know that these dudes are affiliated based on, any interaction they have with them. They're pulling up them documents of them being gang members. I mean, some of them are even self-admitted gang members if you go back through some of the cases that I've read. To the police. So we have another arrest report here for a Oblock Big P. And it's going back another year here to 2015, March 12th. And criminal trespass again to vehicles this time. All right, so we'll see what this is about. This is arrestee vehicles, a 2014 Ford Focus. So they don't discriminate on the cars. This is an on-view arrest by Beat 4213D of area south saturation. In summary, responding officers observed above vehicle driven by co-arrestee commit traffic violations, turn signal requests, stop sign, tail light inoperable, and no seatbelt. No driver cited under citations numbers listed. Responding officers curbed the vehicle and upon approach detected a strong odor of cannabis emitting from the vehicle. Responding officers had both above and co-arrestee exit the vehicle. A check of above vehicle through leads revealed the vehicle to be stolen on January 24th, 2015 from Schaumburg, Illinois. Under leads, numbers listed and report number listed, Schaumburg Police Detective Angela notified at 20:35 hours. Above could not produce a rental agreement and could not provide identification of owner of vehicle. Above was placed into custody and transported to the 005th District for further processing. And these dudes are getting into trouble left and right. Now you were smoking, you know, burning down in a stolen whip, and the police pull up on you. And I guess you don't pull off. All right, we got another arrest report here. For another Big P, aka P, we have now on this one. He's giving some more marks, and they list some more tattoos. Money bag with flames. Trust no one. Is this love LIXI on right wrist? I don't know. Tattoo OTF on left shoulder. So hey, he's a member of OTF. You know. All right, one charge, a robbery. This is a felony. And if you go to his Instagram name, not sure if it's current, but some of the posts I'll show in this at the end of this. You know, he's had this situation with Manaman. You know, he has OTF in that name as well. But let's see. All right, we have an incident narrative. This is an arrest by Tactical Beat 363E, other 003rd District. In summary, arriving officers conducted an investigative alert mission in the 003rd District, at which time above was placed into custody after confirming his identity for an active investigative alert with PC number listed. Listed investigative alert was for a robbery, in that he was identified as one of two offenders who robbed listed victim of his belongings on January 3rd, 2015. Above was then transported to 003rd District for processing. All right. Area Central notified. No personal property inventory. Above has identification, gang affiliation, BD, Wick City, Oblock. All right, and then the arresting officers for that. I mean, we got another arrest here. Now this goes back to 2014. All right, and this time he was on a sidewalk. Unlawful contact with street gang members is a misdemeanor. So it's probably one of those gang charges that police can add on you if you're hanging around, you know, you're known or a self-admitted gang member like most of these dudes are. You know, they're going to press you just for that. You know, you're not supposed to be around any felons, etc., right? This is an arrest by Beat 6716F and 6716E, gang enforcement unit while working 6716E under incident number listed Jaro City gang conflict. In summary, arriving officers observed the offender at the above mentioned address, a known gang and narcotics area, using gang handshakes with several gang members in the area. Arriving officers know the offender to be a convicted felon under case number listed and currently on parole. Arriving officers are aware that parolees have strict restrictions with any contact with active gang members. The offender was placed in custody and transported to the 3rd District for processing. And pretty much as I mentioned earlier, you can't be around gang members. They know, you know, I mean, they just saw him and knew he, like, you know, just standing outside, you know, you shaking hands. You know, these are the things that get people in those RICOs, man. So, all right, that's the end of that arrest right there. Now we got one going all the way back to 2011 for this individual. All right, and this was when he was a youth. He has 3 charges here: robbery, 2 felonies, and a CTA trespassing on without paying. So he probably hopped the train without paying. And they approved the felony charges as a kid, man, for him on April 5th, 2011, man. 2 of them. That's how it all starts, you know. These are the career criminals. They start young, man. Look at this. But when you give a kid, you know, these type of charges, go back through this history and see how he winds up to the current date. I'm just saying. Male white, we have victims for this one. It seems to be 3 or 4. Well, first one, male white 18, male white 19, and these must be the individuals he robbed. All right, incident narrative. In summary, above, arrested under TAC case number listed, subject taken into custody after he was positively identified as one of the offenders who on March 18th, 2011 took the victim's property by use of force. Above arrestee knowingly, along with co-offenders, took a wallet from victim redacted under RD number listed. Above arrestee also knowingly, along with co-offenders, took a Verizon LG cell phone from the victim. Redacted under RD number listed. Also, arrestee was observed via video from CTA jumping the turnstile when entering the CTA. Offender was placed into custody, read his Miranda warnings by Sergeant Aldine, and transported to the 021st District. Here we have mugshots associated with each of those crimes. And yeah, man. So you see the robbery, unlawful contact, robbery, trespassing. And as I mentioned, man, this is where it all starts. You can see where these trends happen, man. But anyway, thanks for watching today. As I said, if you have any FOIA requests you want to make or anything like that, definitely join that membership. It's called Kemia's Consult Corner, and I'll get you together, man. Just make sure you hit that subscribe button and thumb up this video, as it gets my videos out to new potential subscribers, which is imperative for the growth of this channel, man. Thanks and peace.